वही आप जैसे नहीं तैयारी करो हम लेके आते हैं। Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
जय उच्चपाद परमहंस परिवार जगदाचार्य स्वपाद सत्व शिष्य मच्छिला हे श्री भक्तिवेदांत चांचल्य को पार की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की श्रीराम श्री सनातन भक्त रघुनाथ जी की गोपाल भक्त सरनाथ साधु साधु की प्रेम से को श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवधरी गौरव की राधा कृष्ण गोपाल गोपीनाथ राधा गोविंद की श्री वृंदावन धाम की श्री मथुरा धाम की श्री कालकाल धाम की श्री जगन्नाथ धाम की तुलसी महारानी बलदेवी की गर्भवती देवी की Harinam Sankirtanya ki Jai. Shri Shri Govinda ki Jai. Shri Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hare Samavita Bhakti ki Jai. All glory is to the Assembled. All glory is to the Assembled. All glory is to Shiva, Shiva, all glory is to Shiva Prabhupada. Om Jnana-Timirandasya Jnana-Shalakaya Chakra-Saranagatam Jnanam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupamayam Dadati Sarantitam Mandeham Sri Guru Sri Yudhavadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vidantam Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Vetam Nadevam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Visagamtam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagarpate Gopesha Gopika Ganta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Ganjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prijamano Sudevi Pranamami Hare Priya Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaurava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Dharavaktaya Namo Namah. So, we are very fortunate to be here to be discussing about the wonderful pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the avatar for the angel Kali, was no different from Sri Radha Krishna. So we appeared on Purnima Tithi Falgun Mass 538 years ago. So Purnima Tithi actually just starting, and it is still tomorrow evening. So we are observing Vrindavan. The Abhishek tomorrow, but here we will have a small Abhishek also of Sri Sri Gauritai, and offerings of flowers, Pushpanjali. And so we were discussing day before yesterday about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord who performs his wonderful pastimes in this world. We discussed about the appearance, his childhood pastimes, his pastimes in youth, his acceptance of sannyas. And yesterday we discussed about after taking sannyas, he decided to reside in Jagannath Puri, and also his mother, Charitamrita, she requested him to stay in Jagannath Puri. Because Mahaprabhu is independent, supreme personality of Godhead. He's fully independent, Swarat. He can do whatever he likes. At the same time, his devotees are there, and there's a loving reciprocation there. And sometimes he does also what his devotees want, out of love. Like even in the material world, where there's a relationship between friends, between husband and wife, parents and children, there's a loving relationship, and it is from both sides. And there's give and take. Not that only one person will say, we will do this, we will do that, and then the other person just has to say yes, yes, and follow. But now, the other person also has some desire, then that should be considered. That is a loving exchange. But of course, Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord, Swami, and we are the servant. So, first of all, we have to understand that he's the Supreme Lord, and we have to engage in devotional service, and then we become purified of all anarthas, unwanted things. And then we should be there in the mood of servant, dasya, that we are the servant of the Lord. And then after some time, it will be Vishwam Veda Seva. It is very intimate relationship with Mahaprabhu. And then we are reminded of Radha Krishna's pastimes in Braj, where the relationship is also very intimate and wonderful. Loving exchanges there. So when he was in Jagannath, he was following the rules and regulations of the scriptures. As a sannyasi, very exemplary, and he expected his followers also to follow. And he was always engaged, especially in chanting the holy names. He chanted Uddama mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And so wonderful loving exchanges there with his devotees. It is mentioned that two kinds of devotees of Mahaprabhu, basically, the Gauriyas and the Oriyas. Those from Orissa, they're known as Oriya, and those from Gaudadej, from Bengal, they're known as Gauriya. Of course, other devotees from other places of India, they used to come also. But the majority were from Orissa and Bengal. His most intimate associates. So, as we know, Nityananda Prabhu, Gadadhar Pandit, Advaita Acharya, and Srivas Pandit. They are actually expanded forms of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are known as Panchatattva. But then all of the great devotees are there, specifically it is mentioned Sarup Damodar and Raivanananda, who are considered non-different. They are considered to be Lalita and Vishaka Devi in Krishna Lila. And then two other devotees were there, Sikhi Mahiti, one great devotee, and his sister, Madhavi, they are also considered to be confidential devotees. Besides that, of course, the six Goswamis were there, Srila Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Sanat Goswami, Jeev Goswami, and Gopal Bhatta, and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. They're all very dear to Mahaprabhu. And so they all met Mahaprabhu, and as we know, in Navadvip, eternal associates are there, but then especially the six Goswamis, they appeared in different places, in mostly in South India or Bengal, and then they used to meet Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, and then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent them to Vrindavan and told them to excavate the lost holy places of Raj and to write transcendental literatures for our benefits. So this different, it is mentioned also, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, the different books are there, especially Rupa Goswami, like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Upadeshamrita, Ujjwal Ninamani, and so on, which are the life and soul of the devotees of the Lord. And Raghunath Das Goswami's books, Sanat Goswami's books specifically, and Jiva Goswami. And based on these books, we are performing devotional service at the beginning, in the middle stage, and in the advanced stage also. And these books are according to the instructions they received from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that will be discussed in the next section as Mahaprabhu met, or as Mahaprabhu was going towards Vrindavan, and from Vrindavan coming back to Jagannath Puri. He was in Prayag, in Varanasi, and in Prayag Rupa Goswami met him, and Varanasi Sanat Goswami. And Raghunath Das Goswami met him in Jagannath Puri. And based on the instructions they got from Mahaprabhu, so they wrote their transcendental literatures for our benefit. Also, so that we'll discuss in the next session, because we don't have so much time now. And very important instructions are there in Prayag, Varanasi, and in Puri. And also, one of the devotee South India, as he went to South India, as explained also yesterday briefly, and the church of his brother Vishwarup, and also to distribute the holy names. And so as he was going to South, there were different devotees, of course, who were delivered by the mercy of the Lord. There was one Brahmana, his name was Vasudev Vipra. He was affected by leprosy. But by the mercy, by the touch of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was cured. And he became a great devotee of the Lord. And so one time also, as Mahaprabhu then continued towards South India, so the Brahmana was asking, Mahaprabhu, please let me come with you. Let me accompany you. And I will leave everything. I just want to be with you. Then Mahaprabhu told him, no, you should stay here. And she said, you take care of your family. But then you give Krishna consciousness to others. Krishna Badesh, Amaragya Guru Hanate Tarai Desh. Whoever you meet, you instruct them about Krishna consciousness. So he was embraced by Mahaprabhu. So he was empowered by Mahaprabhu, of course, because of previous Agyata Sukritya Punya, auspicious activities, pious activities, he had the opportunity to meet Mahaprabhu. Not everyone can meet Mahaprabhu. Only those who are pious, those who are already performed some devotional service, they can meet. So that Brahmana then he went home as instructed by Mahaprabhu and instructed others. And because he was empowered, then anyone who came to him was also then enlivened, and then was also then distributing the Krishna consciousness to others. In this way, so many persons, they were blessed with Krishna consciousness at the time of Mahaprabhu. And further on, as he was going to South India, he went actually to all the holy places of South India, and then even going upwards, Dwarka and so on, and eventually, that we'll explain next time, to Vrindavan. So, also he went to one place where there was a Brahmana who was engaged in in the worship of Ram, Sita. But he was really unhappy because she was thinking Ramchandra Bhagavan is there, and then so his associates are there, Sita Devi is there, and the wicked demon Ravana, he abducted Sita Devi. How this is possible? And he was so sad. But then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told him that actually Ravana never touched Sita Devi. It is not possible for a materialistic person to touch the Supreme Lord or to touch his eternal potency, Sita Devi or Lakshmi Devi. But he explained that actually it is Maya Sita, which was manifested by the will of the Lord, by the eternal potency. And so when he was hearing that, actually he was very happy. And he actually cooked for Mahaprabhu. And then Mahaprabhu put lunch there. And he went further, visiting many places in South India specifically. There are many temples in Andhra Pradesh of Nishingadev, Jada Nishinga, with many, of course, when Nishingadev appeared to Pranam Maharaj, to deliver him, to bless him, and to kill his demoniac father, Hiranyakashipu. And he was there, so he went to the temple there, and he was then glorifying Nishingadev. Sri Nishinga, Jai Nishinga, Jai Jai Narashinga, Prahlada Desha Chaya Padma Mukha Padma Vrenga. And other verses also, one of them we also chanting that every day, Namaste Narasingaya Prahlada Ladayane Hiranyakashipu Vachaha Shilakanka Nakaliye Ito Nishingho Padato Nishingho Yato Yamudato Nishingho Mahia Nishingho Hridaye Nishingho Narasinga Madev Sharanam Prapadye. So then he was reciting. And this, of course, another verse we also reciting. He recited many verses. So there's another verse which we also recite after that, that is actually separate from Namaste Narasingaya. Tavakala Kamalavade Nakam Maruta Sringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanabrenga Keshavarita Narahirupa So this actually is from one very famous book by one famous poet, Jayadeva Goswami. Jayadeva Goswami. So he wrote this book, Gita Govind. Gita Govind is about Radha Krishna's pastimes. And there he has mentioned the Dasavatha Stotra. So glorifying the 10 avatars of the Lord. And one of them is Sringadev. And so, and that is there in Mangalacharan of this wonderful book, which Mahaprabhu relished. So Mahaprabhu showed that we should follow one ashram, which we should follow sadhana bhakti, Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, following rules and regulations. But then he explicitly also mentioned that we should try to attain the devotional service following the footsteps of the Brijbasis. That is known as Braj Bhakti, and specifically in the beginning, Raganuga Bhakti. And so for those who are interested in that and purified consciousness after reading Prabhupada's books or the Goswami's books, and then one can read these books also which they have presented. Like Mahaprabhu himself, in the later part of his life, he was every day in the evening time, he was hearing from these books. from Jayadeva Goswami, Vidyapati, Chandidas, who were explaining or in their writings about the wonderful loving exchange of Radha and Krishna. And sort of Damodar, Rai Ramananda, they were reading from these books, giving pleasure to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, and then other places are there, Ahobalam, also Vanishnanga temple is there, Kurmastan is there, where the deity of Kurmadev is there. And one place, deities are there of Shiva and Parvati. Even in one place, he went to one mountain and actually Lord Shiva was there. And so Lord Shiva actually, so it's one of the great demigods, special manifestation of the Lord. And he's also actually a devotee of Krishna, the devotee of Mahaprabhu, and of course a devotee of Ramchandra Bhagwan, Purushottam, Tin Purushottam, Maryada Purushottam, Lila Purushottam, and Prem Purushottam. So Mahaprabhu, he showed by example that even, so we are devotees of Krishna, Krishna and Braj, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, but we have to respect the other incarnations of the Lord. We have to respect everyone, the demigods also. As we know, even we say we have to respect the jiva, the living entity in the ant's body. So what to speak of the demigods? What to speak of the other incarnations of the Lord? You have to respect everyone. But our focus, that is on Krishna. Aradhya, that is also a famous verse by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, explaining what is the opinion of Mahaprabhu, what was his mood. Aradhya Bhagavan Bradeshataniyasta Dhana Vrindavanam Ramya Kachita Pasana Vrajabalavarganiya Kalpitahan Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Prema Pumatamahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Madham Vidanta Pradana Paraha. That is the mat, the opinion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there's no opinion superior to that. The Aradhya Bhagavan, the worshipable Lord, that is Brajesha Taniyas, Brajaish, Taniya, the son of the king of Braj, Krishna, Nanda Kumar, Yashoda Kumar. So similarly, as worshipable as Krishna is his abode, Tadhana, Vrindavanam. And then what is the most exalted form of upasana of worship? Brajavaduvariganiya kalpita. So the Brajavadu, the damsels of Braj, the gopis, their upasana, that is the foremost mode of worship, love towards Krishna. And then he glorified also Srimad Bhagavatam Purana Mangalam. The many Puranas, but the foremost is the Mahapurana, the Srimad Bhagavatam. And therefore every day, as explained yesterday, he was hearing in the association of Gadadhar Pandit, the Srimad Bhagavatam, about the different incarnations. But then of course, then especially also about Krishna's pastimes in Braj, which is the essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Prema Pumatta Mahan, the four Purushavatara are there. Dharma, one has to be religious, one has to follow Dharma. And then, so one is having some occupation according to Vana Ashram, Dharma, and then one will gain something, Artha. And then when one will gain something, then there's some karma is there, one can have some sense gratification. But ultimately, Krishna should be in the center. Krishnendri Priti. We should do the things for Krishna's satisfaction, and then we'll be satisfied also. Krishna Tustam, Jagat Tustam. When Krishna is satisfied, then everyone will be satisfied. And then moksha, then we should become free from this material entanglement. But even higher than that, Pancham Purushartha, the fifth Purushartha, that is bhakti, or prem, Krishna prem, to develop one's love towards Krishna, or Ram, or Narayan, or Vishnu, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, ultimately. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so mercifully by his own example, he showed how to progress in spiritual life, and how to behave properly in this world. Sadachar, proper behavior should be there, proper conduct should be there. But then specifically, with Krishna at the center, and then following the footsteps of the eternal associates of Krishna and Prabhuji. So visiting all these places, and chanting the holy names, and he was attracting so many persons, and they all, many of them, they took up the chanting of the holy names, and became devotees of Krishna, devotees of Mahaprabhu. He went also all the way south, Rameshwaram, Kanyakumari, and then he also went upwards again, and he went to different places like Udupi, where there's a beautiful deity there, Udupi Krishna, or the Marvacharya, which is Marvacharya is a great acharya in our sampradaya, and there was some discourse about the absolute truth. And also on the way there, the other temples are there. Of course, in South India, in Trivandrum, Padmanath temple. If you go a little upwards, there's in Varkala, one Janardhan temple. So he visited all these temples. Anyone has seen these temples? Janardhan, Padmanath, you have been? Janardhan, you have been also. Padmanath, Janardhan, and then Udupi Krishna in South India.
Also
Guru Bayur, yes. So South India, they're also following actually, of course, the Vaishnava culture. And they are God conscious. They are sattvic in the mode of goodness. Many people there. The climate is nice also, not too hot, not too cold. Goes a little hot to make it. There's one other place there where there's a famous temple that is also near Guru Vayur and no, the place of where there's a temple of education. Adikeshav temple is there. Yeah, so I was there also. So he went there, and there were some devotees there of the Lord, and there are two scriptures which are very important amongst the Gaudiya Vaishnavas also. One was the Brahma Samhita, he found there, and one was Krishna Consciousness. So by Bilvamangal Thakur. So he asked the priest there, because at that time, so they didn't have a printing press where you can print thousands of books. But everything was handwritten. So he got the copy, but then he asked the persons there to make a copy of that. And then he took these books. And later on then in Jagannath Puri, so he showed the devotees, and all the devotees, they also make copy of these books, handwritten, and they kept that. And even nowadays, of course, for the devotees, these two books are important. And they are very dear to the devotees. Brahma Samhita in glorification of course, Govinda Mari Purushantam Aham Bhajan Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Radhe Govinda Sarva Karana Karana, explaining that Krishna is the source of information, the source of everything. And then there's an explanation of Golok. And then also the verses are there in glorification of specifically Krishna and Braj. And then Brahma is saying, Govinda Mari Purusham Tamaham Bhajani. I worship Govinda, is the Adi Purush. And then, so glorifying also Chintani Dham, Vrindavan Dham, the Suradi cows, the Kalpavriksha trees, the gopis, and so on. And how Krishna is playing the flute, and it is very attractive. And so his beautiful form is described, and his associates, and then also explaining about the process of devotional service and how we can achieve Krishna by And you have darshan of Krishna, Preman Janacharita Bhakti Vilochanena Santasare Hriyesh Vilogayanti Yam Shama Sundara Chinta Vinasarupam Govindanadi Purushantavam Bhajami. That by developing love for Krishna, by following the principles of devotional service, by chanting the holy names, the mantra, then one can develop one's love towards Krishna. And then Shama Sundar can be seen for one's eyes, within the heart, in one's consciousness. And then when one sees Krishna, one can see his associates. Then one can see his pastimes. And then explaining also the different incarnations are there, but all expanded forms of Krishna. And he's the original supreme master of Godhead. And then also again in the last verse, Ya Kanta Kanta Paramatu Shakal Patarabo Dhruvam Vichintamani Ganamaitayama Privan Vidaganandam Ganamam Apivan Sipriya Saki Chidanandam Jali Paramavida Sattavadicha. So the explanation again there of Braj of Krishna in beautiful Vrindavan, accompanied by Srimati Radharani and the other gopis who are just like goddesses of fortune, and they're even superior than the goddesses of fortune. And then the Kalpavriksha trees are there, the Surabhi cows are there, and then Krishna is playing the flute, and then there it is explained that walking is just like dancing. When they're walking, it is just like they're dancing. When they're speaking, it is just like they're singing the associates of the Lord. It is so beautiful. So that book is very important to the Vaishnavas, Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And therefore, Prabhupada also mentioned that especially when there's Abhishek is there of the deities, when the deities are installed, or even on festival days, then we chant the Brahma Samhita during the Abhishek. And the other book, Krishna Consciousness by Devamangal Thakur, a famous book also about Krishna and the loving sentiments of Srimati Radharani, which are Krishna Consciousness, so which is giving pleasure to Karna, to the ears, this nectar for the ears of Krishna and for the ears of the devotees. So he went to all these places and then, of course, delivering so many devotees. And then eventually he came back to Jagannath Puri. So when he was in South India also, there was a meeting, and actually Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, when he was in Mahaprabhu was there in Puri and they met, and so Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya suggested to him to meet one devotee in South India. And he told him his name is Rai Ramananda. Because he told associate, but they had not met before. So therefore, so of course Mahaprabhu is all-knowing Lord, but is performing Naravat Lila, first time just like a person of this world. So as he was going to South India, then he actually met Rai Ramananda at the bank of the river Godavari. So in South India, so famous places there. And there was so they were meeting there, place Rajamundri is there, and nearby Vidyanagar is there. So where they met, Rai Ramananda was the governor of that part of South India. He was respected by the Brahmanas and by the persons of that place. As we know, the governor is to be respected. But he was from Kayasta community, so in some places they may be accepted as, in many places as Shudras or sometimes as Vaishya, or in rare cases inferior Kshatriya caste. So different places they may have different designation for Kayasta community. But he himself saw when they met in a humble way, so he expressed and he respected Mahaprabhu, and he told him, you're the Supreme Lord, so he was glorified. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being the embodiment of all humility, said, I'm just a simple sannyasi. But then he glorified in turn Rai Ramananda, and he told him that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya spoke very well of you. He told that you are a very wonderful devotee of the Lord. So therefore I came to meet you. And I would like to discuss spiritual subject matters with you. And all the people there were surprised that the governor was there and the sannyasi, and had so much respect for each other. And actually when they embraced each other, so tears were flowing from their eyes. And usually, of course, the sannyasis, they are very reserved in their behavior, and they will not embrace any person of this world, materialistic person, or even as Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, although the king of Puri, Prataparudra, he was a devotee of Jagannath, devotee of the Lord. But just to set the example, Mahaprabhu, so he didn't allow the king to come near him. And he said, no, I cannot entertain the king because he's a materialistic person, he's meeting with materialistic persons. And therefore, he must be also materialistic by meeting materialistic persons. So he just wanted to set the example to the sannyasis to be careful in regards to his association, and even in regards to accepting invitations for prasadam. So he was invited, but he was only eating in the houses of the brahmanas, because he himself was from a brahmana family, and that was the custom. And those who were well-to-do brahmanas, they were able to cook, but they used to also take Jagannath Prasad and give to Mahaprabhu. Others, they were simply buying some Mahaprasad and offering to Mahaprabhu. So, but here in South India, so because he's the independent Supreme Lord, he didn't hesitate to embrace Rai Ramananda because he was actually playing work with the Lord. So they met, but they spent a little time together. But then Mahaprabhu suggested that we should meet again in the evening, the next day. And then we discuss about spiritual subject matters. And so then the next day, so they met, and that is nicely mentioned here. Very instructive dialogue is there, and is famous. Rai Ramananda Sampad. And Srila Prabhupada, besides, of course, translating here the Charitamrita, so he, and of course giving the purports, but at one time he had one small book compiled. We gave some instructions and mentioning this this Rai Ramananda Sambhad. The whole small book is about the dialogue between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rai Ramananda. So I will just read a few of the verses. So it is very interesting. And actually, from here we can see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so it's the Supreme Lord, and usually the sannyasis, they are instructing others. But here, he asked Rai Ramananda, who is a householder and was from the so-called lower class, but still he was a governor, so he was asking questions from him. And usually the sannyasis, they're the teachers of all. the teaching or instructing the householders and of course the brahmacharis or vanaprasthas, and also they're guiding the brahmana, the kshatriya and the vaishyas, or even so the shudras may be there. But here he took the humble position and he inquired from him. So as they met in the evening, so Ramananda approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and offered him respectful obeisances. And Mahaprabhu embraced him. And they began to discuss Krishna Katha. And it is mentioned also, Ram standing in a secluded place. So Mahaprabhu is asking, Prabhu kahe parashloka sadyera nirnaya. So he's asking him, please you explain about what is actually the goal of life. Sadhya. Sadhana is there, the practice of devotional service, but we should know what is the sadhya, what is the goal. And for example, we know we should chant Hare Krishna. But what is our goal? Where we want to go? Where you want to go? After giving up the body, where you want to go? Abode of the Lord, which one? Narayan's abode, Vaikuntha, Ayodhya, where you want to go? Golok. Okay, where you want to go? Golok. Golok. You're in the service of Radhisha. So that is the goal. Then, but of course, we cannot immediately reach, but it's a process there. But here is instructing actually the common devotees. We're just beginning. So we all began in our devotional life. I started 45 years ago. Maybe how many years ago you started in Krishna Consciousness? How many years ago? 7 years, 7, 8 years. In the beginning, you didn't know also what is the goal, right? It took some time. So he's giving instructions to the beginners also, but then also to those who are more advanced and those who are most advanced. Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan. So Mahaprabhu gave everything. And even in this, actually, in this dialogue, and then Raya Kai Swadharma Achane Vishnu Bhakti Hai Swadharma Acharane. So we have to follow one's occupational duty. Swadharma, that means our duty according to actually Vana Ashram. And then Vishnu Bhakti, high. There should be Vishnu Bhakti, devotional service to Vishnu. Of course, Vishnu can refer to Krishna also. And then Rai Ramananda is quoting from the scriptures. Also in the Bhagavatam it is mentioned, but here specifically from Vishnu Purana. Vana Shama, about Vana Ashram, Acharavata, Kumsera Param Puman, Vishnu Radhyate Panta, Nanya Tattosha Karanam. The Supreme Personality of God and Lord Vishnu is worshipped by the proper execution of prescribed duties in the system of Vana and Ashram. So every individual, every person has to be in one Varna and one Ashram. So you were brahmachari before? You were brahmachari? Something, somewhat. I was 10 years brahmachari. And then I had the Grihastha. And then I'm taking now I have to be Vanaprasth. And then maybe sannyas. So that should be there. But not everyone can take sannyas, but those who are brahmanically inclined, they may take sannyas. So if one is highly advanced spiritually and learned, then he may take sannyas and instruct others. And everyone one must have an occupation. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So that is according to one's psychophysical nature. Of course, nobody wants to be designated as Shudra. But in fact, we can see, just like we have this body, the head is there, the arms are there, the belly, and the legs. So in every society, actually, intelligent class is there of people, those who are heroic or strong, or they are kshatriyas, and they're also managers. And then businessmen, there are also plenty, like the stomach is there, filling the stomach. And then those who are just doing labor work, so that is there. Not only in India, but it is all over the world. In any place, you can see intelligent class of people, and they become teachers, or they are scholars, philosophers. So they're there everywhere, practically in every country. It is natural. And then the head of the state, or manager of some company, they're like Kshatriya, they are everywhere. And businessmen, they are everywhere also. And those who are not so intelligent, then they just serve the others. They are there. So one must have some occupation. But Krishna has to be in the center. Otherwise, that is called Daivivana ashram. Otherwise, there's not much use of an ashram if Krishna is not in the center. So that is actually the point here. That Vishnu aradhyate panta. So the way is that Vishnu should be worshipped, or Krishna should be worshipped by following one ashram. And then Prabhu kahe, Mahaprabhu is saying, Eobaya age kaha ara. This is external, you say a little more. That refers to the body only, but we are not the body. Araya kahe Krishna karmarpana sarva sadhya sara. And then Ramananda replied, to offer the result of one's activities, so Krishna is the essence of all perfection. Sarva sadhya sara. So that is the essence, the sar of the perfection. Krishna Karmarpan. So we are working according to one ashram, and then the result we should give to Krishna. And then he's quoting from Bhagavad Gita. Yad karoshi yad yashnasi yad josi tadasi yad yad tapase kanteya tad kurusha manarpanam. That also of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you often give away, as well as all austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. So whatever we are doing, we should offer to Krishna. So that is, of course, a good suggestion. But Prabhu kahe, Eobaya age kaha ara. This is also external. Say a little more. Rai kahe swadharma tyaga e sadhyasara. And then he's saying, Rai Ramananda, one should give up one's occupational duties of one ashram. So simply doing one's duty according to one ashram, because that pertains to the body. In this lifetime, we may be engaging in communal activities, but next lifetime we may be engaged in something else if we are not serving Krishna. Even sometimes in this lifetime, it may change. Sometimes somebody is a teacher, but then he doesn't get an occupation, and then he may do some business or something that may change. And then he's quoting from Bhagavad Gita on famous verse. Sarva dharman parijajya mamekam sharanam vaja aham sarvapabhegyo moksheshima sucha. Krishna is telling Arjuna, Sarva dharma parijajya. Give up all dharma and mam ekam sharanam vaja, and just surrender unto me. So dharma, so we should never give up dharma. But there are two kinds of dharma. One is known as Naimitika dharma. That is explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in one wonderful book known as Jaiva dharma, Jivka dharma. And that he has explained also. Naimitika dharma that refers to dharma of this world, like Vana ashram or following the Niti Shastra, following rules and regulations of that. So that is external, and that has to be given up ultimately. And what is the Paradharma, Nitya Dharma, that is direct service to Krishna. Paradharma, Nitya Dharma, Vastav Dharma, Sanatan Dharma, that is direct service to Krishna, that has to be done. But that also has to be explained further. So he will ask in regards to that.
Also, one question.
Yes.
Why Krishna is saying sort of dharma for which dharma is Vedantic or
No, Naitik, you give up Naitik Dharma. Only Naitik Dharma. Yes, and you surrender to me to show that serving Krishna, that is real Dharma. That is Paradharma. That we have to do. But all the things of this world you must give up ultimately. And that is not permanent. Like one is a brahmachari, then he becomes a grihasta, then vanaprast, then sannyasi. So this is changing.
one also?
Yeah, one ashram, that may change. So that should be given up ultimately. And basically that pertains to the body. I'm a brahmachari, I'm a grihasta, I'm a sannyasi, I'm a brahmana kshatriya. That pertains to the body, that we are not this body, therefore Mahaprabhu told also. Nam viprona chandara vaishna shodho nam varnachakavadyan avastatya kintu prodhyani kalaparamananda paramvettabde gopi bhattaparagama das and das. I'm the servant of Krishna, the beloved of the gopis. I'm not the brahmana kshatriya, but I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. I should be the servant of the gopis or Yashoda. So that Krishna is explaining to Arjuna. Now give up all this consideration that you're kshatriya or your household, but you just serve. On the spiritual platform, we should be situated. Prabhu kahe eko eho baya age kaha ara. Then he's saying this is also external. Give up one's position. Raya kahe jnana mishra bhakti sadhyasara. Then the Ramananda Roy is saying the devotional service mixed with knowledge is the essence of perfection. Jnana Mishra Bhakti. So we have to do devotional service, but we must have some knowledge also. Jnana has to be also cultivated. In one sense, it is right, we have to cultivate knowledge, and even it is mentioned Jnana and Vairagya. We must acquire some knowledge, but then has to be some Vairagya, detachment from this world. But more important is bhakti. We have to be engaged in bhakti. If we get knowledge, and if we are detached from this world, that is fine. But if we are not doing bhakti, what is the use? Many persons are there, they are studying, and they are also renounced. But they are not engaged fully in bhakti. Then that is not perfection. So here, we do bhakti, but with jnana also. With cultivating knowledge, but giving stress on jnana. And that is quoting also from Bhagavad Gita, Ramananda, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatman Ashochiti Nikamshati. Sanaksarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Lavate Param. From the 14th chapter, that one is transcendently situated by meditating on the Lord, he becomes joyful and he never laments and desires anything of this world. And then he may attain pure devotional service. So to acquire knowledge is important, and that will help one to come to the spiritual platform. But one has to engage in devotional service. Otherwise, one cannot be fully situated on the spiritual platform. Like we can see there are many who are studying, and even they want to merge in the absolute truth, the Brahman, but that is not the perfection. And so simply studying or learning, that is not sufficient, but one has to engage in devotional service. Prabhupada Evaya ageka aram. He's saying again, this is only external. Rayaka jnana shanya bhakti santyasar. Then he's saying, so devotional service without any touch of this empiristic knowledge. So that is the essence of perfection. In other words, being engaged in devotional service and not trying to accumulate knowledge. Because many times you can see when devotees, they acquire knowledge and they become proud. I have so much knowledge. I'm better than others. But no, we should be humble. And we acquire knowledge so we become pure and engage in pure devotional service. And then he's quoting also from Srimad Bhagavatam, from the 10th canto, 14th chapter, by Lord Brahma. When he had come to Braj, Lord Brahma, and he saw that Krishna, so he is knowledgeable, Lord Brahma, he has so much knowledge. But then he saw Krishna eating with the left hand. And what is this boy here? He's supposed to be the Supreme Lord, but he's eating with the left hand. That's not proper. I should test him and see if he's actually the Supreme Lord. So he had knowledge, but he became bewildered. Okay, let me steal the cows and the calves and see what happens. He took them, put them in a cave, and the boys came to Krishna. Krishna, the cows and calves are gone. Please, we have to find them. Krishna said, okay, don't worry, I will look for them. You just play. Okay, good. Krishna is taking care of everything. They will continue playing. And Krishna looking here and there, of course, he's Sarvagya, knows everything, but he becomes moved also. Sometimes he doesn't know what's happening. By his own potency, he's Sarvagya, knows everything, and he's Mukunda. Like Mother Yashoda, when she was breastfeeding Krishna, little Krishna, and then the milk was boiling, she put Krishna down, taking care of the milk. Krishna becomes angry. I wanted to drink more milk. Maka Dutta, mother's milk. And then, okay, and he went to other room and he broke the pot, took some butter and gave to the monkeys some butter, and Maria Yashoda coming back. Oh, where's Mandana? Oh, he's there. Oh, he's breaking the pot. And then Krishna sees Maria Yashoda, and she takes a stick and she runs behind. And Krishna running, little Krishna, and she's there running behind him and catching him because small legs. Of course, he can be faster than the fastest, but still, in the pastime, oh, Maria Yashoda wants to catch me, okay. And then he's crying, and tears are coming from the eyes. At that time, he's Buddha. He's forgetting that he's Param Brahma. And he's crying, really. He's not making a show, okay, now she caught me, now I'm crying. No, he's really crying. But then afterwards, when she's trying to bite Krishna, Krishna again, yeah, I'm actually Bhagavan, okay. She's trying to bite me, okay, we show her that I'm unlimited. She's taking rope and rope and rope, and she cannot bite Krishna, trying 2-3 times. Always 2 fingers short. And Charyas have explained. One is endeavor, one is the mercy. We have to endeavor, but we need the mercy. So Krishna is Mukunda and is Sarvagya. By his own potency, internal potency. So Brahma, so he's told the cows and calves, and Krishna looking, what's happening here? And then he comes back, and the gopas are gone also. He took them also. And Brahma, okay, let me see what this little boy is doing now. And then Krishna, by his own potency, he manifested so many gopas. The original gopas, he expanded himself as many gopas. And whatever they had, like different kinds of clothes, and one has a flute, one has a smaller flute, one a bigger flute, everything same. And the cows and calves were there also. And Lord Brahma is coming back. Oh, what is this? They're also here again. He goes back to the cave where he had put the cows and the calves, and they're there. They're there, and they're here and there. And then he understood, he's Bhagavan. I did a mistake. And he went there, he offered obeisances, begging forgiveness from the Lord. I'm sorry. And then he offered his prayers here, so it's mentioned here. Even when he finished his prayers, he was a little not feeling so good. Krishna said, okay, forgive you, no problem. And he was forgiven, but still he was feeling bad. Oh, I'm such a fool. I big mistake I did. I should do some tapasya. And then he came to Mayapur, Antarvik, and he was doing tapasya there. And then he had darshan of Mahaprabhu also. And Mahaprabhu said, okay, you are a little puffed up, but now we will take part in my pastime, and you will be born in a lower family, so you don't get puffed up. And so he became Haridas Thakur also, and somebody else, one of the pastimes of the Lord. So he's offering this prayer that so the devotees who have given up the personal conception of the absolute truth and who are also giving up the empirical study of Jnana Marg and who are hearing from the self-realized devotee about your name, your form, your qualities and pastimes, so who are always engaged in devotional activities and free from sinful activities, they are fully surrendered to you with body, mind, and words. And they may be in any situation in this world, but by their devotional service, they can conquer you. Ye prayaso, jita jita pyasya, taistalokyam. That although you are Ajit, Krishna is known as Ajit, not to be conquered by anyone. Many demons try to conquer Krishna, but nobody can conquer Krishna. But the devotees, they can conquer Krishna by their love. Like Maharaj Shoda, the gopis, the friends of Krishna. And here, Prabhu Kahe, Mahaprabhu is still saying, Eo haya age kara aav. So here he's saying, he didn't say baya before this, he's saying this is external. But here he's saying, this is okay. What he's saying, what you're saying here is okay now, that is better. But still you say a little more, please. I want to hear more. And then Raika Prema Bhakti Sarva Sadhya Sara. Then he's saying that ecstatic love, pure love for the Supreme Lord, that's the essence of all perfection. And then he's quoting different verses also. One of them is famous. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati Kriyatam Yati Kutupi Labhyate Tatra Loryamapi Mulyamekalam Janmakoti Sukritayana Labhyate. So Prabhupada also quoted this verse many times. Pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness cannot be had even by pious activity in hundreds and thousands of lives. It can be obtained only by paying one price, that is intense greed to obtain it. Lolya, mulya mekala. It is available, if it is available somewhere, one must purchase it without delay. So this is included in Padyarali, that is a book by Rupa Goswami. Maybe 300 verses are there. Wonderful verses are there. So this one, previous one is there and mentioned. And this book, actually, Padyavali, maybe half of the verses that is quoted, this is by Sridhar Swami, this is by Jayadev Goswami, is quoting the author. Or maybe almost half of the verses is writing, author is unknown. Some of the verses are available, but nobody knows who was the author. But because it is, because he was a genius, Rupa Goswami, pure devotee, expert in Sanskrit. He wrote so many wonderful books, and he wrote one book called Chamatkar Chandrika. Chamatkar Chandrika. No, what is it? That is Vishwanath, but his book is, what is it? Chamatkar Chandrika, Kavita Charitvani. So the expert, very wonderful poetry. So that I don't know if one time I read that or not. So many 11 verses by Rupa Goswami. Sanskrit, and it is very, very wonderful. Verses are there. Like verses with only one, like for example, with ma, or the whole verse is starting with, it is with only this na, consonant na. It may be na, no, ni. So maybe one time we'll discuss this. Yeah. Which book of Kavita? What is it now? The exact word was there. Kavita Charitvani. Something. Kavita. Can't remember now the exact word which is there. Chaitanya Chandrika is there. Kavita Charit. I'll find out and we can discuss another time. Very wonderful. Chitra Kavitvani. Amazing poetry is there by Rupa Goswami. So according to Sanskrit, you could understand it. These verses are proper language, and this verse, Gurave Gaurachandraya. Nobody knows where from these verses, but it is a beautiful verse. And it is according to our Siddhanta. So therefore our acharyas have explained also. And then again, Mahaprabhu is saying, oh, that is nice, but please you speak some more. And then, right, Dasya Prema Sarva Sadhyasar. Then this is explaining Dasya Prem. So he's speaking about Prema Bhakti in Braj specifically, but of course, even it may be in Dwarka also Dasya Prem is there, but Braj Prem is superior. So he's saying spontaneous loving service in servitude. As exchanged by master and servant is the highest perfection. That is in Braj also the servants of Krishna there. Raktak Patrak, our serving tambur, the pan leaves with betel nut inside, or washing Krishna's clothes. So they are most fortunate and they have pure love for Krishna and there's a loving exchange. And then he's quoting some verses glorifying those who are engaged in hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord and as servants in Dasya Bhav. And that we have to do also, we have to be engaged in devotional service as servants of Krishna. And then so, Prabhu Kaya, this is very nice, this is okay, but we say more. And then Raika Sakya Prema Sarva Sadhya Sara. Hearing this, the Lord again said, yeah, this is okay, but you reply more. And then Ramananda said, loving service to Krishna rendered in fraternity is the highest perfection. As friends, Sakya Prem. And I'm also quoting from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, by Shukadeva Goswami, famous verse. Idam satam brahma sukkanabhutyam tasyam gatanam parada daivatenam maya shitanam nara narakeya sadam vijatu krita punya punya. Those who are engaged in self-realization, appreciating the Brahman effulgence of the Lord, and those engaged in devotional service, accepting the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Master, as well as those who are under the clutches of Maya, thinking the Lord an holy person, cannot understand that certain exalted personalities after accumulating volumes of pious activities, are now playing with the Lord in friendship as coward boys. So here glorification of the group as the friends, and then showing that they're superior than those who are appreciating the Brahmajyoti, those who are those who are yogis, and those who are engaged in ritualistic activities. And then so those who are serving Krishna as friends, they are most exalted. Therefore, Prabhu kahe, Eha uttamagre kaha ara. So that is first class, that is very good, but please say some more. Raya kahe, Vachalya prema sarva sadhya sar. He's saying, Raya Ramananda is saying, loving service to the Lord in paternal relationship is the highest perfectional stage. Also quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, Nanda Kim Akkarotta Brahman Shriya Evam Mahodayam Yashodava Mahabhaga Papo Yavad Stanam Harihi Papo Yasya Stanam Harihi. So, what pious activities did Nanda Maharaj perform by which he received the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna as his son? And what pious activities did Maria Yashoda perform that made the Supreme Absolute Truth, Krishna, call her mother and suck her breast? So the love of Nanda Baba and Maria Yashoda that is superior to the love of the friends. And another verse is there also from the 10th canto. The favor Maria Yashoda obtained from Krishna, the bestower of liberation, was never obtained even by Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, nor even by the goddess of fortune, who always remains on the chest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhu kahe uttam age kaha ara. And he's saying, oh, that is first class, but please say more. And then Raya kahe kama prema sarva sadhya sa. The Lord said, the statements are certainly getting better and better, one after the other, but surpassing all of them is another transcendental mellow. Should please tell me, Rai Ramananda replied, conjugal attachment for Krishna is the topmost position in love of Godhead. And also quoting from the Srimad Bhagavatam, various verses. When Lord Krishna was dancing with the gopis in the Ras Leela, the gopis were embraced by the arms of the Lord. This transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune or the other consorts in the spirit world. Indeed, never was such a thing ever imagined by the most beautiful girls in the heavenly planets, whose bodily luster and aroma resemble the lotus flower. And what to speak of worldly women, who are very beautiful according to the material estimation. So the love of the gopis towards Krishna, that is most exalted. And here the example is given. It is superior to the love of Lakshmi Devi and Vaikuntha. And what to speak of the demigoddesses in the heavenly planets. So they also exalted, but their love is much inferior to the love of the gopis. And what to speak of only women of this world. So nobody can attain this kind of love like the gopis, as explained in the other verse also. Aradya Bhagavan Raja Chaitanyas, Tadhana Vrindavana, Pramya Kache Tupasana Rajavada Bharigana Kalpitaha. So the love of the gopis that cannot be conceived of. Only by engaging in devotional service and becoming purified in consciousness, then slowly but surely one can understand the love of the gopis. So, and then also quoting from the Bhagavatam 12th canto after Gopi Git. So there it is explained. So they were feeling separation from Krishna because he had disappeared from the rasa dance. But when Krishna again appeared, so the gopis, they were overwhelmed with transcendental feelings. Seeing beautiful Krishna dressed in yellow garments, wearing a beautiful flower garland, and playing the flute, a peacock feather in his crown. So then he is glorifying, Ramananda glorifying the love of the gopis. Of course, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so he was extremely happy when he was speaking about the gopis and the relationship with Krishna. So many verses are quoted here, but we don't have time to say all of them. But so then finally, Mahaprabhu said, Saryavadi samshaya kripa korikaha yadi age kichohai. And Mahaprabhu, he said that this is very wonderful what you have explained to me. This is certainly the limit of perfection. But please be merciful to me and speak more if there's more. And then Rai Ramananda, so he said that until this day I did not know anyone within this material world who could imagine beyond this perfection stage of devotional service. So in other words, it's not so easy to understand the loving exchange of Krishna and the gopis. And so that is only for those who are highly advanced. But then he's explaining, of course, inspired by Krishna actually, that among the loving affairs of the gopis, Rai Ramananda continued, the love of Srimati Radharani for Krishna is topmost, Sadhya Shiromani. Indeed, the glories of Srimati Radharani are highly estimated in all revealed scriptures. So the revealed scriptures, the love of Srimati Radharani is of course glorified, not only in Srimad Bhagavatam, also in the Puranas, Padma Purana, and various literatures it is explained. And then he's quoting one verse that is actually from the Padma Purana. Famous verse, Yata Radha Priya Vishnu Tasyam Kudam Priyatata Sarva Gopisha Sarvakya Vishnu Ratyanta Vallabha. So just as Srimati Radharani is most dear to Krishna, a Vedic place, Radhakund, Sri Radhakunda Ki is as dear to Krishna. So Krishna likes to go to Radhakund. And every day at noon time is there in Radhakund, in the spiritual world, but even in this world, when Krishna is in Kishore and Radha in Kishori Avastha, they meet every day at Radhakund. And then he's explaining amongst all the gopis, so Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna. And I'm quoting also from Srimad Bhagavatam, famous verse, Aniyaradhitonunam Bhagavan Harireshwaraha Yanno Vihaya Govinda Prito Yan Anayatraha. So that is also again after the Ras Leela. So when Radharani left the Rasa Leela, Krishna also left, and the gopis, they were searching for them. But then Krishna also left Radharani. So the gopis are saying that when they were looking for Krishna and Radharani, that so they were saying, oh my dear friends, so this gopi has been taken away by Krishna, referring to Radharani, to a secluded place, and leaving us behind. So that means she must be able to give pleasure to Krishna more than anyone else. And so Mahaprabhu then, when he was listening, he was saying that please speak on, please speak more. I'm very happy to hear you, because a river of unprecedented nectar is flowing from your mouth. She was relishing a wonderful description in regards to loving exchange between Radha and Krishna and the gopis. So in other words, so it is mentioned that And as at the beginning of the Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu came to establish the Yuga Dharma, the chanting of the holy names, the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare. And so we have to follow the rules and regulations of one ashram. We have to be engaged in devotional service first, knowing that I'm the servant of Mahaprabhu, the servant of Krishna. But then eventually we have to adopt the mood of the Brijabasis, specifically the mood of the gopis. Because Mahaprabhu is learning from Radha Krishna, and specifically you wanted to give this love, the love of the gopis. So that is the essence of this dialogue. And of course then he wanted to hear more, and then he's asking him, kindly explain about the transcendental features of Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So you wanted to hear more and more. So then Rai Ramananda he said, actually I don't know about all these things, but by your mercy I'm able to say something. And then he's also saying that just like, and he was saying that you're making me speak actually all these things. And giving him the example also, just like the cloud is giving water, and the water is going there in the ocean, and the sun is there, and then with the help of the sun, then the water is evaporated, and then it forms the clouds, and then the rain is there. So Mahaprabhu is actually the source of all knowledge. And so he's inspiring Rai Ramananda to speak. And then something very wonderful happened, that as he was speaking in this way, and then he suddenly saw, as he was looking at Mahaprabhu, he suddenly saw Radha and Krishna, and then he fainted. And so he understood at this point that Mahaprabhu is no different from Radha and Krishna. And then, of course, lovingly, Mahaprabhu, he picked up Ramananda Roy, and then he told him that you should not tell this to anyone who we have seen here. Don't tell anyone. Of course, he didn't do, except to his dear friends. So actually also, in other words, the highest transcendental realizations, so we cannot speak to those who are just new in devotional life, or those who are not knowing about the position of Mahaprabhu Krishna. But later on, slowly but surely, one comes to know, and then one can hear the subject matter also. And then also there was some other conversations, some practical questions were there asked by Mahaprabhu, and he was answering them very nicely. But I think this is enough for now. In this regard, very beautiful. And then after, of course, then Mahaprabhu also told Rai Ramananda, I want you to go to Jagannath Puri. You should give up your job and you go to Jagannath Puri. And then, so that is my desire. Of course, if something is the desire of the Lord, then it will be achieved. And then, of course, he took leave from this duty as a governor, and after some time and Mahaprabhu told him, you take leave from your position and you go to Puri, and I will return soon also, and then we'll meet and we'll spend time together in Jagannath Puri. And then Rai Ramananda and Swarup Damodar, they were daily meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Gambhira, Kashimisha's house, and they were speaking about this subject matter of Krishna and Radha and Krishna, their loving exchange, which is ultimately the goal of life for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, but we cannot immediately try to come to that platform. It will take some time. So then, yes, and after this, so they parted from each other, and then Mahaprabhu came back and to Jagannath Puri eventually, and also Rai Ramananda, they met there. On the way to Puri, Mahaprabhu also went to one temple, Sakshi Gopal. Sakshi Gopal. Anyone has seen Sakshi Gopal temple? Oh, no, not yet. So beautiful deity also. Sakshi Gopal. Gopal is a Sakshi witness. That is near Puri. Even at the train station is there. Sakshi Gopal.
So this was only 3 years.
Only 3 years, okay. So you forgot, right? You don't remember. So you should go another time. Yeah? Take your good wife and your good daughter and go there. Because the most beautiful place is Brancha. Radhishyam. But it's nice also. And then after Manipur is also wonderful, and Radhanada. And you saw there was one Brahmana, elderly Brahmana needed somebody to accompany him to go for pilgrimage. And then so young Brahmana said, okay, why not? And then they went and he was helping. In so many places, they're also from South India, also from the place in Rai Ramananda's place actually, nearby there. Finally, they came to Vrindavan. That was the last place, the darshan of different places. They went to Gopal temple, and therefore the obeisances. And then the Brahmana, the elder Brahmana was so happy in front of the deities. He was saying that yes, I'm very pleased with your seva. So I have one daughter. She needs to be married, and I think you have a marriageable age. So I would like to offer my daughter to you. And she was from a higher caste Brahmana. He was lower caste Brahmana. So the Brahmana was saying, young Brahmana, that, well, you know, I'm not high class family. Maybe your wife and your children, they will not agree. And he was saying, I'm the boss. You can tell me anything. No problem. And I said, okay, so please you say in front of Gopal and promise here. Yes, in front of Gopal, and he said, I promise I will give my daughter to this young Brahmana. And then the young Brahmana said, okay, Gopal, you're the Sakshi, you're the witness. If needed, you have to be a witness. Of course, Gopal smiling. And then they left, they came back. And then, so they went to their respective home, and the young Brahmana then was waiting. And the elderly Brahmana, then he spoke to his wife, and especially his son was there. And he was telling them, the young Brahmana was with me, and telling me very nicely, so I thought we can give our daughter, my daughter to him as a reward. And the wife and son. But he's nice. He's not from a high-class Brahmana family, so that would not look nice. What the other people will say? That is not right. You did the wrong thing. We cannot allow this. Especially the son was strong, and the wife also. Oh, yes, actually, that is not good. That we cannot allow. But I promised, and we can just take something that is just trying to cheat. This we will make something out. So many days passed, and he didn't want to say anything. And the young Brahmana one day he came to the house and asked the elderly Brahmana. And the elderly Brahmana also, he was embarrassed and he didn't know what to do. And then he said, I can't exactly remember what happened. And then the son came and he was saying, oh, you're just trying to make up some story, I know. And then I will tell everyone in the village that you're actually trying to and to cheat us also, and even you took something from my father, you're a cheater. So this way he was just speaking some ill words. But then the young Brahmana was thinking, well, Gopal was Sakshi, he was a Sakshi, he was the witness. So let me go to the Panchayat, to the assembly of the elders of the village, and explain to them. So explain to them what happened, and then he called the elderly Brahmana, the young Brahmana, and the elders of the village. They were also devoted, and they heard what the young Brahmana was saying, and because the son of the elder Brahmana was just making some false accusations against the young Brahmana. But the elders, they were intelligent, and they were saying, okay, fine. If Gopal was the witness, then he should come here and be a witness. So everyone agrees. The young Brahmana said, yes, I will go to Vrindavan and I'll call Gopal to come here. And the elder Brahmana was also happy. Yes, that is a good idea. Because he was witness. And the young Brahmana was, at this he was saying, yeah, sure, let him come here. Jeez, how Gopal can come here. It's just a stone statue here. And so they went home, and the young Brahmana went to Vrindavan. Even the place is still there when Gopal was there. The place is known as Sadhu Bela. The place is there. And there's something like yeah. We have this video picture. Yeah, that is Sadhu Bela. There he was there. Yeah, Gopal was there. And actually, sometimes the Jamuna is after rainy season, during rainy season, there's a lot of water and flooding the Parikrama Marg. Now, sometimes, last year it was also, a few years before also, but before above Delhi here, they have a dam, and what is it called, the place? I forgot, but Yamuna Nagar is there, they have a dam. Because of that, not much water is there. But before the dam was there, 30 years ago, there was always a lot, almost every year, little flood was there. One time, actually, because there were not many houses, the Jamuna came to this road, to this house also, Sadhubena. And there's a mark also, Yamuna Kripa, this time, on the road. So there. So he went back there, and he went to Gopal and offer obeisances, and told Gopal that you were there, Sakshi, when I was here with the elder Brahmana. So now you have to be a witness, you have to come with me to that place in South India, Vidyanagar. And then Gopal is saying, well, did you ever see before that the deity is walking? How I can walk? And then young Brahmana said, well, you're talking to me. If you can talk, you can walk. And then Gopal said, okay, yes, I will walk, no problem. You go ahead, and you every day you should cook noontime some rice and some vegetables which you can get on the way, and then you offer to me. But you look ahead, don't look behind. But you will hear that I'm here by the sound of the ankle bells of the Nupur. I said, okay. So I'm walking, and every day he was cooking some rice and some vegetables, offering to Gopal, and then walking. And then he just reached just outside the outskirts of the village. And then he looked back, and then Gopal said, okay. I said, don't look back, but anyhow, it's okay. I just stay here. You can bring everyone here. She brought everyone here, and then everyone agreed. And that, yes, Gopal came here to be a witness, and then the elder Brahmana's daughter was given in marriage to that young Brahmana. Sakshi Gopal Ki. So Diti was in South India, but then the king of Jaipur, one time he conquered. Of course, many stories are there, but not this time. But he conquered that place, and he took Sakshi Gopal to Puri, and he put next to Jagannath, Sakshi Gopal. And then they were offering, and And Jagannath came in the dream of the king and the head pujari. Why you brought Sakshi Gopal here? He's eating my offering. I'm getting less to eat now. We should go somewhere else. So then they had to bring Sakshi Gopal to another place. He's there where he is now. Jagannath ki, the wonderful pastimes of the Lord. Therefore, when we worship the deities, also the Shilas, if we have Shilas, it is mentioned we should not have two Shilas only. Because then who will be the main? If you have one Shila the main, then the other one will become angry maybe. So we don't have two Shilas. We have one Shila or three Shila. And one is Pradhan. And the others are there also worshipped. That is there. The rule is there. Those who worship Shaligram, they know.
They can fight.
We can fight, yeah. And then you're in trouble. Why are you giving me and not him? Why are you giving him and not me? You should first offer to me. So transcendental fight between the Lord sometimes also. Hare Krishna, okay, we should stop here. So anyhow, so that is just to show the Lord's pastime in the south and going to different places. And actually, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, even he went to Sri Rangam also. And there, so there he met Gopal Bhatta's parents, and he stayed there for Chaturmas in Sri Rangam. And he spoke about, of course, they were followers of Ramanuja, worshipping Lakshmi Narayan or Sitaram. But then Krishna spoke about Yashodananda, Shyamasundar, and told that is superior than worship of Lakshmi Narayan. Why are you worshipping Lakshmi Narayan? The love of Krishna with gopis is most wonderful. And he also became devotees of Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna. And the uncle of, so the son was Gopal Bhatta, and he saw, his name was, but then Mahaprabhu told, he wanted to go with Mahaprabhu, he was young boy. But Mahaprabhu told him, no, you stay at home and you take care of your parents. And when they're no more here, then you can come and join me. And so the uncle was Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, who was a famous, who wrote Charitamrita and one wonderful book, Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi, very wonderful book about Radharani and her wonderful qualities and the love of Radharani and the love of Gopis and the Manjaris. So, and then Gopal Goswami, of course, he served his parents, and when they left, his body went to Vrindavan. And he was worshipping Radharama, famous Radharama Giti. So many pastimes are there, but so we should stop here. Did you really not share?
One or two questions.
One or two questions, yes.
And question.
Yes. Conversation, somebody.
He was telling, he was speaking one after another.
Yes.
Mahaprabhu was asking, asking to say more.
Yes.
First he said about the philosophy.
Yes.
And last he said about
Yes.
he was already knowing that. So,
Well, yeah, the reason was that it's actually for our benefit. Just like Krishna speaking to Arjuna also. Arjuna is a devotee, but still for our benefit, then he was there as the instrument, so that we can understand about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga. So similarly, and actually who is Rai Ramananda? He is Shaka, but at the same time, Rai Ramananda is also Pandav Arjuna. He's also Arjun Saki and Arjun Gopal Raj. So just like Krishna spoke to Arjun, so Mahaprabhu spoke to Rai Ramananda for our benefit. This is for our benefit.
Ramananda also came to Vrindavan, or he stayed there.
No, he stayed there. He didn't come to Vrindavan. Many of Mahaprabhu's associates, they never went to Vrindavan in this world, but they are devices. So Damodar, Rai, Ramananda, they always in Braj. You don't have to go.
Who selected these 6 Goswamis to
Yes.
So
Yes.
interested in that.
Yes. Yes, he selected different devotees for different purposes. That is also mentioned. Okay. Any other question? Yes.
I have one question. Like you mentioned in the conversation with the guy of the first stage is wherein you're performing your duties as per the Varna.
Varnashrama, yes.
So, as a householder and as a Vaishya, what are the prescribed duties?
For the householder and the Vaishya, what is the duties? A householder, of course, you have to keep Krishna in the center. You have to chant Hare Krishna, because that is the Yoga Dharma. Then you should do some worship of Krishna or Mahaprabhu. That is the duty. And you have to read the scriptures also, as Mahaprabhu told, you should read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. So that is your duty as a householder. As a Vaishya also, that is your prime duty, most important. But then afterwards, as a householder, of course, you have to take care of the house. You have to make sure that the wife is satisfied. You have to take care of the children. That is your duty as a householder. And then you have to serve your parents also. That is the duty of the householder. You have to take care of your parents also. And then as a householder also, it is there, of course, and as a Vaishya also, Vaishya is taking care of the land or the cows, or is doing business. That's their duty. If one cannot directly to go seva, then we can, sometimes we go to Braj and then we can do some go seva there. So that is there, because also the saying goes in Braj, if you want to go to Golok, you have to serve the cow. Without go seva, you cannot go to Golok, which makes sense, because Krishna is a gop. The gopis are cow girls, they are serving the cow. Even Krishna is doing, so if we want to go, we should serve the cows, and they are dear to Krishna. His name is Gopal, Govinda, Nama Brahmana, Nama Brahmana Deva, Go Brahmana Hitayacha. Go Brahmana Hitayacha is acting for the benefit of the cows and the Brahmanas. So we should do that then. But then we do business, but then we do some Go Seva also, and we do Brahmana Seva, and we serve the Lord, the Guru Chan. So that is the duty of a household, that is the duty of a Vaishya. Serving by one's earn money, one should serve the Lord, and then one should serve the Brahmanas and serve the cows. That is the duty of a Vaishya, that is the duty of a householder.
First is Nitya Dharma and
First is Nitya Dharma, that is serve Krishna, then Nanakita Dharma. Yeah. First, always your spiritual practice has to be there. You have to chant holy names, you have to worship Krishna, you have to hear about Krishna. That is most important. But then you do your duty, but then you have to also go according to rules and regulations. What is the duty of a Vaishya or a householder, then you have to know. You have to serve also others, that is there, Sarvamite, Devata. One time when devotee got married, and he asked Prabhupada, what is my duty? Then Prabhupada said, okay, you're married, now your wife will cook something, then you will offer to Krishna what she has cooked. When she's cooking, your wife, you offer to Krishna? Okay, good. And then what you should do, you should go out of the house. Anybody is hungry, please come, take some prasad. And then the devotee said, what else? Prabhupada repeated the same thing. What else? 3 times. It's important to feed others. So you can do some prasad distribution also. Are you doing today also, right? Everyone get prasad?
So, for Kama Seva, even if we are giving money, that is also.
Yeah. Like, for example, one time I was thinking also, well, I should have a cow also. The Brahmanas used to keep cow. I have a little house in Vrindavan, a little garden also. And I was thinking that sometimes I have to go somewhere, my family also. Then who will take care of the cow? Not so easy. So then I thought, well, let me just adopt the calf. So then was one calf I was waiting, and in Kartik, on the Kadashi, Shukla Paksha Kadashi, Haribodini Kadashi. So a calf was born, then I adopted the calf, and now it's almost now 8.5 years. I'm paying every month to the expenses of the car. Every month I'm paying for the expenses. In this way, I'm doing Go Seva also. And everyone has to do Go Seva. Not only the Vaishyas, the Kshatriya and the Brahmanas also, especially want to go to the law. To do Go Seva.
That is part of Nitya Dharma.
That is, yeah, well, no, it is actually Naitika because that is the duty of a householder, even as a Vaishya, Kshatriya, or Brahmana, they have to serve the cow also. That is the duty of Naitika Dharma. But then the Nitya Dharma, that is serving Krishna actually, and serving in the mood of the gopis. But then if you are in the mood of the gopis, then internally you are serving the cows too. But externally, that is external what we are doing here. But internally, we are meditating on the gopis, we are serving the cows also, a little bit. But mostly the gopas are doing Go Seva.
So meaning thereby that what Krishna is saying, sir, Bhagavan,
Yes,
Namaste Dharma should be
given up.
given up slowly
Yes,
as we progress. In the
right. Yes. And you surrender to Krishna completely with body, mind, and words. And then Anukulina Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Ruttama. It should be Anukul as Krishna wants, not as you want. What Krishna wants, you have to do. That is Uttam Bhakti. Anyavilashita Shunyam Jnanakaram and Avrita. Not a desire, only to desire what Krishna wants, to serve and satisfy Krishna.
Is there any question?
Yes,
You spoke about the about
yes.
devotees are supposed to begin with the above.
Dasya Bhav. In the beginning, as devotees, as sadhakas practicing devotee, were in Dasya Bhav. I am the servant of Mahaprabhu, I am the servant of Krishna, I am the servant of the Vaishnavas. As sadhaka, we are in Dasya Bhav. But then when you are more advanced, then the Ganesh Sambandh is there. Then Sakya Atmani Vedana. Then you identify and you remember the associates of Krishna and Praj. And then maybe Sakya Bhav or Gopi Bhav or Vatsalya Bhav will be there internally. But externally, we're always there with the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in more advanced stage, internally, Krishna is not God. Krishna is my friend. Krishna is my son. Krishna is my beloved. For the sadhakas, we always have to think, even those who are advanced, but they also in this body and they act as sadhaka also. They act as sadhakas just to set the example for others. And so in this way, sadhaka, we always think I'm the servant of Krishna. I'm the servant of Mahaprabhu. Okay? Hare Krishna. Okay, then we should do some Abhishek here or Abhishek.
Yes, yes.
So, okay. Satchinandana Gaura Hare Ki, Shri Radha Shama Sundar Ki, Shri Prabhupada Ki, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki, Go Premanande Hare.
Praise to the Prabhuji.
Okay, maybe some kirtan. Kirtan. You can sing. After that, you can take this mic also. Krishna Krishna Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Prajari Nirvishesha Gunavani Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhatare Yeah, you have to end this.